Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Royalty Cut here, and in today's tutorial I'll be taking you through the process of how to draft, cut an A-line skirt with a flare at the back or a triangle at the back. If this is a video you're interested in, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. So technically, for this tutorial of this A-line skirt, these are the papers that I'll be making use for the drafting of the upper skirt, and this is the material that I'm working with. I have about 4 yards of lace. This is a beaded lace, and I have about the same 4 yards of crepe. That's a matching color for it. So this is the material we'll be working with. So I'm going to go ahead and place this aside. Now for the drafting of the upper skirt, if you've been following this channel, you know that this pattern of skirt drafting can actually be used for any skirt pattern. Now I'll teach you how, but first we are going to go ahead and draft our skirt. So the first thing I'll go ahead and do now is to mark a starting line at the tip of my paper, which will be serving as our waistline. Now I'll go in and impute the length measurement that I'm working with. Now for my hip length, I'll be working with 9 inches, but since I'll be attaching it to an upper body, I'll be working with 10 inches instead. So I'll just go ahead and mark 10 inches. And the knee length that I'm working with is 21 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark 21 inches. Now for this knee length, you go ahead and measure your exact knee length. Then you go up by 3 inches or 4 inches. So for me, the exact knee length that I was working with that I have was 25 inches, but I went up by extra 4 inches and I'm working with 21 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark this. After marking it, I'll go ahead and extend the line to the end of our paper. After marking this out, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is from the waistline, I'm going to come in from this edge that I'm working with. I'll be coming in by 2 inches all the way down to our knee length. This is our waistline, our hip line, and our knee line. So I'm going to be going in by 2 inches from the waistline down to the knee line, and after I'll go ahead and divide the 2 inch again into 1 inch, and I'll be using a line to demarcate the both of it. After marking in the 2 inch, this is what I have. This is the 2 inch line. As you can see here, I also went ahead to divide it, and I have 1 inch in each column in the total of 2 inch. Now this first 1 inch I have here will be serving as our ass sitting. It will be serving as our ass sitting. And this second line, this second 1 inch column we have here will be serving as our zip contouring. So this is what it is. Now after that, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is to impute our bust span measurement. Your bust span measurement is from your nipple to nipple measurement, and for me, I'm working with 7 inches. So I'll go ahead and divide the 7 inches into 2, which will be giving me 3.5 inches. So from this line that I have here, this 2 inch line I have here, I'll go ahead and measure 3.5 inches. Marking the 3.5 inch on my waistline, I'm going to go ahead and extend the 3.5 inch all the way down to the hip line. Now, after imputing the bust span divided by 2, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do right now is on both the right side and the left side of this bust span line, I'm going to go in and out by 1/2 inch. Now, the purpose of this is for us to create an invisible dart. Sometimes you see dresses that are made without that, you'll be wondering. So we are just going to go ahead and manipulate our dart on the paper. So I'm going to connect this half of an inch all the way down to this line, and this half of an inch all the way down. You know the normal way you do your dart, so that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So after connecting our dart line, this is our dart already. Now the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is to divide my round waist measurement into four. The round waist measurement that I'm working with is 32 inches. 32 inches divided by 4 will give me 8 inches. So from this line, I'm going to go ahead and measure in 8 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark 8 inches here. Now remember that we already took half of an inch and half of an inch from this bust span line, and that is 1 inch. So we are going to go ahead and replace the 1 inch. So after that, I'll be adding extra 2-inch sewing allowance to my dress. Now you can choose to add 1 or 3 depending on what you want. So for my hip, round hip, I'm going to go ahead and divide the round hip I'm working with, which is 42 inches divided by 4 will give me 10.5 inches. On this hip length line, I'll go ahead and input 10.5 inches. Now we are not going to go ahead and replace any that inches here because there is no space that that took from our half length, our hip length. So I'm just going to go ahead and input directly our round hip divided by 4, and I'll be adding extra 2-inch allowance, the same 2-inch that I added to our waistline. Now for the knee length, you're going to be taking your round knee measurement. Now do make sure that you measure your round knee measurement. Take your ruler, place it at the place that you went up by 3 inches or 4 inches. Make sure you measure it to the extent that you can be able to walk with the tape round your knee. So whatever measurement that you have, that is what you'll be working with. So for me, my round knee measurement, I'll be working with 32 inches. So 32 inches divided by 4 will give me 8 inches. So at my round knee, I'll be imputing 8 inches, and I'll be adding extra 2-inch allowance to it. Now we are going to go ahead and connect these lines. Now with my curve ruler, I'm going to place this round knee measurement that I have here to my hip line, just like you see over here. So after connecting it in a curvy way, I'm going to be connecting the waist measurement to the hip length measurement, just like you see me over here. After connecting the curvy line, as you can see, this is what is giving me already. It's already giving me a curvy shape where our hip will be sitting. Now for the zip contouring and the ass sitting, for the zip contouring line on this column that I have zip contouring, which is the second column, I'm going to be coming out by, I'll be coming in by half of an inch on the waistline, and I'll mark that down just like you see me over here. So I went in from this column by half of an inch. Now for the ass sitting, if you're actually drafting a normal skirt that you're wearing as a skirt without attaching an upper body to it, just go ahead and come out by, at this center column, you come out by half of an inch if it is a normal skirt. But since we are drafting a skirt that will be attaching to an upper body, from this hip line that I have here, I'll be coming down by 1 inch. After coming down by 1 inch, I'll go ahead and extend it to the zip contouring line, just like you see me doing over here. So this coming down by 1 inch is not necessary if it is just a regular skirt, but it is necessary if you're going to be attaching an upper body to it. That's if you're making a dress. So after extending this line down to the zip contouring, from this 1 inch line that I marked here, at this ass sitting line, I will be coming out by half of an inch. Remember here we came in by 1 inch, half of an inch. So at the ass sitting line, I'll be coming out by half of an inch. So after that, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is to connect this 1/2 inch that I have at our waistline in the zip contouring down to this 1/2 inch that I have below our hip line in the ass sitting in a slanted way. Just make sure that the line is slanted if you're using a free hand for it. So after connecting it, this is what is looking like. I have a curvy shape like this. So from this 1/2 inch, I'm going to be connecting it back into this second line that is here. That's into the zip contouring line. So I'm going to be connecting it into this line. Just make sure that at the end it goes back into the line without giving any trace. So this is it. As you can see closely, our zip contouring line at the end is 1 inch full, and at the upper part we have about 1/2 inch, and this is the ass sitting. This curvy part we have here, and this is our zip contouring. So that is that for our skirt. Now the next thing we are going to be going ahead and do now is to cover this dart manipulation that we have. So you'll be needing your tape for this, or if you have your normal gum, you can still go ahead and use it. Now while closing your dart, you don't close from this part, you close from the allowance line, or you close from your measurement line. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick this line, this second line that we have here. Just go ahead and pick it all the way down to the hip length. Now after that, I'll be folding this line that I picked. I'll be folding it to be placing on top of this first 1/2 inch that we marked. So just watch the way I'm doing it. So when you come to this part, just make sure that this part is not folded. Remember, we did not actually place any measurement on it. So this is what it should be looking like. I'll go ahead and tape this down. So after achieving this, there's no need of attaching or applying a dart to your dress again. So for this skirt, actually now it is ready. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is to cut this out. Cutting it out, this is what it is looking like. Now with our dart placed, if you look closely, you will see that there is an open edge here. So this allows our hip to sit in properly. It is not flat. There's a bumpy part at this hip line. So that's the purpose of this dart manipulation that we did. So the next thing we are going to go ahead and do now, we are going to be using this single piece you see here to cut both our front and our back A-line skirt. So for the front piece first, I'm going to go ahead and fold in from this zip allowance line that we have here, just like you see me do over here. I'll go ahead and fold in the zip contouring and the ass sitting inside. I'll fold it in, and this is what I'll be left with. So with this piece, I can cut the front piece. Now for the back piece, I'll just go ahead and unfold this zip allowance and the ass sitting. So let's go ahead and fold our fabric for the cutting of the front piece. So for the cutting of this fabric, I will not be cutting with the lace. I'll go ahead and be cutting with the crepe. Then after cutting it on the crepe, I will now place it directly on the lace to cut it out. Because if you should mark any chalk for any measurement on the lace, you cannot be seeing it. So for the length of this crepe, I'm working with length 60. That's the length of this crepe. So I'll just go ahead and fold this crepe through the length, and I'll be folding with 23 inches. So make sure that your fabric is on fold and make sure that it is up to 23 inches. So I'll go ahead and measure mine. I have 22 here, so I will extend it a little bit. So I have 23 here in total. So after folding my fabric into two, remember that I folded with 23 inches. I'm just going to go ahead and bring this upper body that we already cut out earlier. Now remember, we are cutting the front piece first, so I'm just going to go ahead and place this folded edge at this folded part of our fabric this way. So after folding it, I'll go ahead and pin it down to the fabric. So after pinning these pieces down to our main fabric, now you're going to go ahead and determine the full length you want to work with. So for me, I'll be working with the full length 50 inches. That's minusing the half length of our upper body for making the dress. So from this point of our waistline, I'll go ahead and mark 50 inches from our tape. Now this measurement, I actually took it from my waist area while taking the skirt. So I'll just go ahead and mark 50 inches all the way down to the end of this folded piece. Marking the 50 inches, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now, remember that we are cutting an A line from this knee length that we have here, this knee measurement. I'm going to go ahead and use this long ruler in a slanted way to connect from this point all the way down to this 23 inches end that we have, just like you see me do here. So after connecting it, this is what it is looking like. As you can see, we've gotten our A-line shape already. Now the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do to avoid this place coming out to have a tip, from this point I'm going to be going up by 2 inches or 1.5, depending on what you want. So from this point, this triangle point, I'll be coming up by 2 inches. So after marking the 2 inch down, I'm going to go ahead and curve the end, just like you see here. So this is to avoid it having this tipped shape at the end of the day. So this is our A-line. As you can see, it is already set. Now I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. So after cutting out this A-line skirt, this is what the front piece is looking like. So I'll just go ahead and pin it together and also place that aside. So for the back piece, remember I told you that the back piece will be having a tail at the back. So instead of folding this fabric through the length area, I'll go ahead and be folding it through the width area for us to get exactly what we need. So instead of folding this way, I'll go ahead and fold this way. I don't know if you can see. So after folding this fabric into two, I went ahead to place the front piece that we cut earlier on top of the folded fabric. Now note that I did not remove the front part that I cut out earlier. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do now is from this side, I'm going to go ahead and unpin this zipper allowance and the as contouring that we folded earlier. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up this paper, just like you see me do here, and I'll go ahead and pin it down. I'll go ahead and pin it down to the fabric. Now after pinning it down, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do right now is I'm going to remember that this A-line is going to have a train. So I actually went up here by 10 inch and the down part of it before placing this upper body to it. So for the sides, I have about From this folded edge, I have about 8 inches here, and that is what I'll be working with. So if you want yours to be more flowy, go ahead and add extra inches to the down part. That's for the tail. Then from this folded edge, you can actually add extra inches, but for me, I'll be working with 8 inches here and 10 inches for the train. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do right now is to connect this knee line measurement from this zip contouring line. I'm just going to go ahead and connect it into this 8 inches line that we have earlier. So I'm going to use this long ruler to place it this way, just like you see me do here, and I'm going to draw in the line. So after drawing in the line, this is what I'm having over here. So for this flowy part, I'm just going to go ahead from this edge. I'm going to go ahead and curve it. Now you might choose to do your curvy part any way you want it. So I'm just going to go ahead and curve it. So I actually have a train here already on the floor. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is to cut this back piece. Now from this point, I'm just going to cut through from this zip contouring and add stitching all the way to this line and also to the other end. After cutting out the back piece, this is what I have left. So the next thing I'm just going to go ahead and do now is to go ahead and notch this center part at the zipper place for us to actually get the center and our zipper allowance. So after that, this is what I have here. So on pinning it, I have the front piece and the back piece together. So this is our front piece. As you can see, the other one is our back piece. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold the lace that we are working with and place this line, this crepe that I have here on top of the lace. Cutting out the back piece too, this is what it's looking like. So I'm just going to go ahead right now and sew the sides. So I'll be turning it over. So I'll be sewing the sides and also the sides of the front piece, right side facing each other. So after sewing down the sides, I'll be flipping it in